Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This is an extended look at the cameras on the Xiaomi Mi 9T. So we're going to start this off. This is the front camera on the Xiaomi Mi 9T, and this is a 20 megapixel motorized pop-up camera. Now in my first testing of the Xiaomi Mi 9Ts, I gotta start saying Mi 9T cameras, in that initial video that I did unboxing first impressions, the microphones on them were they just weren't that great to me. They were really low. So if I were to use this phone for YouTube or something like that, I would have to definitely edit and post, unless this video right here is a different representation. I'll see, because I'm not going to edit the audio on this. When I do these extended looks at the cameras, I just upload them directly to YouTube. I put it together and then I upload directly to YouTube for you guys to give you some sense of what this will be like for you if you were going to use this for whatever purpose you want to use it for. So I'm going to look over at the viewfinder here. And through the viewfinder, it actually looks really, really great. It looks really, really good. Now, disclaimer, I do have, this is artificial lighting. If I turn off the LEDs, it's kind of dark, but I'll give you a sense of what it looks like. Let's go. So here's the phone processing this same scenario with no artificial lighting. And, this is what you get. I actually like how it looks kind of on both sides, but let's hit the lights again and let's get it back on. All right, so artificial lighting back in place. This is the front pop-up camera, 20 megapixels, like I said. It's if I was gonna vlog, I think this will be good because I don't see that this is a wide lens camera. But there is definitely a bunch in view. There's front cameras on phones where it's extremely cropped, but this one actually is really, really solid. No issues with the front camera so far. So let's take it around to the back, and I'll shoot some 1080p and do some 4K too. All right, so here's the rear camera shooting at 1080p at 60 frames per second, and this is the quality that you're going to get with artificial lighting. Now I will go ahead and drop off the artificial lighting like I just did a minute ago to give you some sense of what it could be like if you did not have any kind of artificial lighting. These are ultra bright white LED lights that I use. But overall though, again, in that testing of the rear camera as well as the front, the microphones just weren't that good compared to several other phones that I have. And this could be a downside for some people or maybe not. But we'll see how it is in this setting where it's definitely controlled. There's no birds chirping. There's no cars going by. This is just me sitting in one spot, nice and quiet in the area, a couple of fans going and things like that. And yeah, let's turn off the artificial lighting and see how it looks now. All right, so here it is with no artificial lighting, 1080p at 60 frames per second. I will switch over to 4K as well. And show you what that looks like. But for now, this is what the rear camera is going to look like if you decide to use this for whatever footage you need it for. Now let's switch over to 4K. So before I switch to 4K, here is the wide angle lens for video. Just real brief, look at all that's in view. Wow, I'm sitting really close to this phone too. So these cameras, actually all the default cameras on here, I think all the cameras on here definitely have some kind of wide or ultra wide to them. According to the specs here, there is a wide, telephoto, and ultra wide. So you can get really close to your subject or you can get spread out like this. All right, so here's 4K footage on the Mi 9T. I can't wait to see this footage on the computer itself so I can see what it is too. But I really like that you can shoot wide angle video. And again, when I'm listening to so as I'm stopping these recordings, I'm kind of checking it out on the device. And again, it's those microphones. Those microphones are definitely one of the weak points compared to other phones that I have. But this is 4K recording in a controlled environment with LED lights and no other filters, nothing outside, no distractions in audio. But let's switch over to a wide angle 4K video and see if it's even possible. Let's just do it. Let's check it out. So you in fact can shoot 4K wide angle, which is really sweet. Xiaomi has produced just a number of phones that I've been totally impressed with. This is no exception. It's impressive to know that you can get this phone for $300. The performance of the phone itself is actually been really great, and I'm going to save that for another video. I really want to tackle the battery life for you guys because this I think it has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery inside. I'm just going to confirm it for you. Yeah, 4,000 milliamps with fast charging and an 18-watt charger in the box. But ultimately, being able to shoot, this is something, if you notice now, this is something that smartphones are doing. It's like having all these different lenses in your pocket, which is what manufacturers want to happen. So this wide-angle video in 4K, I hope it looks good. I hope the audio is good. I'll be watching it with you. Well, I'll watch it before you, but the fact that I can do the 4K wide angle, I'm impressed. All right, folks, so there's an extended look. We're back on the front camera with the phone. That's an extended look at the Xiaomi Mi 9T. There is a Pro model coming. This pretty much, to me, this has a Snapdragon 855 in it. A few tweaks here and there, but ultimately, I think the value that you're going to get from any of these devices. Now, to be clear, the K20, I believe, is pretty much the same phone. It just has a Snapdragon 855 in it. So that would be the Pro version of the 9T. But if you were looking to use this phone for recordings and things like that, this is what you could possibly expect. This is my scenario, but I'm not doing anything to the device. I'm just putting it on a tripod, and that's it. I'm just using it. I got it on a tripod. I'm talking to you on the camera. So these pop-up cameras, this is not something that's new, but it's something that's nice. But a lot of people don't like moving parts. Now, I opted not to get the Galaxy A80 and went with the A70 for that reason, because the entire phone pops up on the top. But this is actually going to be pretty sweet, man. I like this design. I've liked it with the Vivo Nex S, and the OnePlus 7 Pro has this design. Ton of other phones that are in the pocket-friendly budget range have this design now. So it's something that can be done by manufacturers. Will it be sturdy? We don't know. Speaking of sturdy, look for cases and tempered glass reviews on this particular device coming up soon. But anyway, this is an extended look at the front and rear cameras for video. I'll do photos and stuff probably in another video, because this does have an option to shoot 48 megapixel shots. And one thing I like about this over my Galaxy A70 for the 48 megapixel photos, I think it's the Galaxy A80. The Galaxy A70. I have another phone where it shoots 48 megapixel shots. This one, actually right here, is just a button for it. I just hit 48 megapixel, the Galaxy A70 is 32. I've got a ton of phones, man. It's hard to keep up. This phone just has a button in the camera, like in the settings, just to hit 48 megapixel. Boom, switch over to 48 megapixel. Really sweet. Anyway, video footage from this device, this is what you could expect possibly. In your scenario, it might be different. You might have better lights. You might have whatever. You might go outside. Obviously, outside is going to look a heck of a lot different. Right? Of course it will, because it's sunlight and things like that. So I tend not to focus too much on going outside, because we all know that most phones can perform well in that situation. But let's test the device. Let's push the limits. And see how it would do in a scenario that you might possibly have to do. You might have to sit in your living room somewhere, or in your kitchen or somewhere, and shoot video of something or someone for school or something like that. You might need a wide-angle lens. You might need to be the footage as good as possible. This could be a strong option for you. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. It is very hard to look at the camera kind of off to the side instead of looking straight onto the screen. It's very difficult. For me, it is. It's your man Jay. I hope that... You know what, manufacturers? Before I get out of here, this is going to sound crazy. But as crazy as it's going to sound, we might see it one day. The camera to the center of the screen, off to the right side, a little hole. That creates a great situation to look here and vlog. I need to patent that. I'm out.